we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. You would just, you guys see the cord, be careful if you leave. And then, so we will have an introduction of guests. Abby, sorry, guest?
Oh, I don't know.
Those, okay, okay, so they need to introduce themselves. Okay. We'll start right here. You want to introduce yourself?
My name's Michael White.
Michael.
I'm Phyllis Romine.
Joyce Nelson, Chair ADC.
David Carson.
Jackie Winston.
Diane Clavis.
Okay, thank you. Good to have you guys here. Okay, old business, we got this.
What's your names?
Excuse me?
What's your names?
Okay, we'll start with Abby.
Abby Carpenter, the director of the library.
Evan Thornton, board member.
Go ahead.
Michael Carr, board member.
Craig Cassidy, board member.
Ann Taylor Wilson, board member.
Deon Johnson, board member. Benita Logston, administrative coordinator and recording secretary.
Okay, so has everybody got a chance to look at the March minutes? Any corrections, edits, comments? Have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you very much. Abby, the 25 March statement, financial statement.
Okay. So this is the actual income and expenses as of last week. Like we talked about last meeting, we are about halfway through the fiscal year, so most of our revenues and everything reflect that. We have completed the audit for fiscal year 24, so I can ask Buddy to come to the next meeting to present that. And I also shared the documents in there that he had submitted to be shared with the board, but he can of course go over that further. The Friends have also given their second quarter. I believe it was categorized elsewhere, so it's not showing on their line item. And from my understanding, we won't be receiving an LSTA grant this year, so that will remain empty.
That's cost neutral to the budget. It has a
Right.
Okay.
We never added it because of what was going on. Shannon has also added a capital expenditures line for the outdoor spaces as a result of the audit. She has started adding that, so you'll see that there too.
Any questions on the financial statement? No, you guys have already had this.
Looks good.
Okay. I don't think we just, that's information.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so now we have the meeting room policy, Joyce Nelson.
Would you like to speak regarding the ADC and the meeting room policy?
Not necessarily policy. Good afternoon again, everybody. I am Joyce Nelson. Not after your policy, ADC has met here for the past 15 years or so. And we've always conducted ourselves in a nonpartisan way to involve the public as far as knowledge of registration. And we're registered at the registrar's office. We do no partisan activities whatsoever on this premises. We appreciate the opportunity to meet. We've also conducted voters registrations in your lobby, which we have registered. I know Abby can confirm this. We registered some 20 or more people at a time when we meet. So that's just a way of keeping the public involved and knowledgeable. So I was really surprised when I got the call from Abby saying that the board had decided that we could no longer use the library as our meeting area. And I really don't understand why that came about. But I also understood from her that we are good to continue meeting as long as we continue nonpartisan. So I just want to come by today, and I have our executive members here with me, and we just wanted to see if there was a problem or something we're doing that we need to correct. Because we, like I said, we're looking forward to another registration in the lobby just as soon as we possibly can, and in the community. With the election coming up, see, the election is nonpartisan. So the people deserve to know what's going on, and if they come and be a witness to our meeting and present themselves, I don't see any reason. We're not endorsing anybody. We don't tell anybody how to vote. If you got a driver's license, I will register you. Okay? So that's what we do. So I just wanted to know from you why the phone called, and she said the board members, so I didn't realize who the board members were. So I wanted to meet you and give you an opportunity to meet me so we can go forward. We do have a meeting coming up Saturday in our meeting room.
And you're all welcome to come.
Yeah, we welcome you to come.
So members of the public can speak about the meeting room policy at this meeting, it seems?
No, they had requested to be added to the agenda specifically.
There's a process to get added to the agenda.
Okay, all right, so they were added to the agenda, because I also have something to say about it, but I guess I have to add myself to the agenda at the next meeting, which I'll definitely be attending.
Sounds good. The policy was revised, and there, I think I'll defer to my attorney, that there is some rules about using public for political purposes that we need to make sure doesn't happen.
Right.
Is that a correct statement?
Yes, that is correct. And as far as it goes, we, as a board, went back and looked at our existing meeting room policy, which has not been revised in,
2010.
15 years. In today's current political environment, it is important for us as board members that the library appear apolitical, right? For the library to survive, we need public funding regardless of who is in office. And I'm maybe speaking a little bit out of turn, but it's my understanding that in the not too distant past, a mayoral candidate requested to use the meeting as a informational gathering thing, but it actually could have probably been interpreted as a campaign event. And that meeting room was requested somewhat surreptitiously.
Oh, you're not referring to ABC with this?
I'm certainly
Okay,
not.
I wanted to clear that up.
And I don't have the first-hand knowledge on that.
I just wanted to make clear that up, that wasn't our group, so to speak.
No,
Okay?
no, ma'am, no,
I'm
ma'am,
sorry,
and
go
I'm
ahead.
not accusing your
No,
group
no,
of
go
any
ahead. I just
malfeasance or
keep going.
anything.
I just want to make
It's
sure.
just
Could you
moving
please tell me
forward.
what ADC stands for?
Alabama Democratic Conference.
Thank you.
Moving forward, we, as a board, have decided we will not allow political activities, and that is clearly defined in our revised policy. I don't have it right in front of me to read it to you, but it's available.
When was it?
When was it available?
It was approved at the March meeting of this library.
So
board.
when is the physical
March,
copy
when?
going to be available?
It is, I mean,
So can you provide it now?
yes.
When we see it, please.
Not right now.
After the meeting.
After the
Yeah.
meeting, thank you.
You can come up here and request it, so.
I did receive a call, not an email, because I've dealt with Abby and Caitlin for the duration pretty much since I've been in. And on the basis that they called and I called them, and I have not had a problem. So are you telling me that your revised is telling me that you have a problem with us meeting here? After she said we're okay?
I think the conversation I had with you was prior to the official approval of the revised policy. So at that point, I was just trying to get a better understanding of what the ADC does, what you use the spaces for, so that then it could be discussed among this board. And so then there were some conversations back and forth, I believe, with John Williams as well.
Well, I'm not entertaining that.
Yes.
Because he's not authorized to speak
Okay,
for this group. We have our executive people.
okay,
And on your list that I fill out, he's not a contact person.
okay,
So if you spoke with any other individual rather than me or the contact person, I don't think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Everybody has their opinion.
Yeah, the policy should be, it's approved,
yes.
and so we don't have a policy on the internet.
I had requested to be added last week, so I need
Okay,
to
so
follow
if
up
you
on
want a
that.
physical copy, you can come request it, and then hopefully we'll get it on the internet just as quickly as possible as well.
Okay. So you're telling me we cannot meet this Saturday here?
After 15 years, y'all got to give us.
Well, that's
more than
what-
4 days. You know,
When
that's 4 days.
When I spoke with him, and I know that was not the proper channel, I suppose, but I was trying to give a period of time that you could meet to give your group time to find a different location. So we can discuss that
Okay.
one-on-one about what the
Continue,
options would
okay.
be.
So can you discuss that with me also?
Well, let's void the,
And me?
excuse me, I think it's my turn here.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But, let's just, the conversation that we'll have is contained that phone call that you had with me.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
communication you had with any other person other than the ones here, I will not entertain that. Because
Yes, ma'am.
I cannot speak for what
And-
the intentions.
Right, and the policy's been approved, and you get a copy from Abby, and you can meet with Abby. We do, the executive director does have the final decision,
Mhm.
so that lies at the executive director level.
So can I meet with you after the meeting?
Yes, that'll be
Okay,
fine.
thank you.
So with that, we'll get everybody get a copy and request it. And then we will move into the director's report.
Okay, well, thank you for allowing me
Yeah,
to
thank y'all for
speak.
coming.
Thank you.
Okay, as far as the director's report, we had a great program last week, Charlie Brown's America. We had over 50 people in attendance for that. It was amazing. We are still in the middle of our spring gardening series with the Master Gardeners. They had a group today. Chess Nights is ongoing, and then April is National Poetry Month, so we have an open mic night tonight, and then a poetry reading Thursday with Jason McCall. And then our big spring event for our Youth Services Department is the Family Night Picnic, which will be April 22nd. And the contractors are working on cleaning up that side so that we can still use at least the front lawn of that space. And we normally reserve the street as well, so the games can extend out there. Jessica and I are attending the Alabama Library Association Convention on Thursday in Gunnersville. Looking forward to that. We do have a meeting scheduled with the mayor and Councilman Hendricks about further discussing the social work position that we had talked about last meeting. ICS is in the midst of getting our new server set up, so he has to touch each computer individually and get everything migrated over. So every day we talk multiple times a day trying to get that set up. We did complete our 30-day demo with Print, which is our where patrons can bring their own devices to print, and that was successful. We had 91 prints just within that 30-day trial period, so we've continued with them for a year.
Is that a free service?
No,
How much
it's
does-
700.
No, I'm talking about how much does it cost?
Oh, 20 cents a page for black and white, and then $1 for color per page. And that's the same as what it would be if they log on to one of our computers.
Okay, so that's already set in place.
Yes, it's
Okay.
always been that. This just,
Let you do it from your phone.
yes, so we've had different alternatives throughout the years, but they haven't always worked as well. This is one that Huntsville uses, and that also is compatible with Envisionware, which is our company we use for RFID. So we tested it out and it went really well.
Do you have to have a credit card?
We're still taking payments at the desk, so they can either come up to the desk and use a card or pay via
And
cash.
then you put it on their account?
Yes. And so we can monitor each transaction. PSI came and we selected the furniture for outside, so it has been ordered, and is that a 6 to 8 week
Yeah, I think
Time.
it was about 6.
Okay.
It was a little
to get that?
longer.
Patton's coordinating with the freight company about getting the instruments delivered, hopefully any day now. We are aware that if you've driven by the sides, the framing on the windows is not completely aligned with where the existing original
Above
framing.
the door.
Above the new door.
Yeah.
Mullions is the word for that, I learned. So anyway, Jason and Hatton are working with Quality Glass to get that fixed. So it will be fixed. We think the pergolas are ordered about 8 weeks out from delivery on those. Some additional expenses that have been added, nothing major, but including the removal of the holly trees outside. We're adding railing to the steps to be compliant with city ordinances for that. And then we're adding the walkways near the sidewalks by the staff doors, so if we have ADA needs, we can make sure to accommodate those. Even with those additions, Hatton feels confident that we'll still come in at or below contract, like we talked about. And then I've listed the donations we've received to date for the outdoor classroom project. The APLS board met at the end of March. So Dr. Nancy Pack, the former director, was terminated at that meeting. Kellen Ralia is the interim director for now, and Kellen's been at APLS my whole career, longer than that. And so she knows everything that's going on. And I put in just some news articles about that meeting and some decisions that were made regarding Fairhope Library and their collections. And like I said, right now, we're not receiving an LSTA grant while IMLS is being reviewed at the federal level. And we do have some exciting news. Author Robert Bailey, who's pretty well known, will be coming here on May 20th. And so that's an event that the Friends wanted to help co-sponsor. And so he has a new book called The Boomerang coming out in May. So we'll be part of his tour. So he'll do a short presentation and then sell and sign books on that day. We also have a very kind volunteer who's wanting to help the library any way he can. And so one need we've had for a long time in local history is to protect our collection. Lee has requested putting UV protection on the windows. And so we had a rep from Designers Graphics come out today and kind of measure the space, look at that. And these were the different samples that he brought. Of course, some are, we don't want to go with the really dark tinting. There are different options. So anyway, I thought you especially may want to look at those with your expertise.
They're a good company to work with.
You will,
They're a good
yes.
company.
We've done
Okay.
before.
Yeah.
And we talked about whether to do just that space
Uh-huh.
or all of the front, depending on from the exterior. We don't want it to look different.
Yeah.
So that's,
Get it quoted both ways, yeah, that's what I would.
there wasn't a big
Oh,
range. Well, yeah, he's gonna send us a quote for just
Okay.
that room or the whole front. There wasn't a big range in terms
Yeah.
of which of these we pick. So
Did
that-
he have a suggestion on?
Well, of course, he
Knowing
said
we
the
don't,
darkest
yeah.
was the most protected, but we thought that was too much. This one is basically just transparent.
Yeah.
So Benita and I were kind of leaning towards
Mhm.
either of the two middle ones, and he claimed from the outside, you really wouldn't see a difference, especially with, he said the blinds, because they're white, they may look a little darker with that behind them, but, anyway, those were the,
I'm assuming Lee prefers to go dark.
probably. But we can see evidence, of course, of where the books and covers have faded over time. It was just something when the building opened that I think the board didn't want it to look different in that room as opposed to the rest of the front facade. So at one point, the round windows were tinted. Now, of course, we've had the glass replaced in those, so they're no longer tinted. Or were they tinted or UV protected? Or both?
The glass was tinted.
Okay,
It was a very light tint.
On
but of
those
course,
round
when we
ones.
did
the Schneider.
The Schneider upgrade, that all those windows were removed, so.
So our volunteers identified he wants to help in local history most of all. So this was a need that Lee expressed that we've had. So this is his first project he's wanting to help with.
Anything else on the grade report?
I've got the stats.
What about the famous author that was here last time? Did you find out why he was here?
He was here researching a murder case from the late 80s. Is it Catherine Sinek? Yeah. So we think maybe he was going to do a podcast on that.
Okay.
it was a murder for hire case that involved a pastor and young boys that were under the influence, and then there's a lot of elements to it.
But it might, not a book. He's not.
I don't think so, because he has several different podcasts that it'd probably fit into. But I don't know for sure.
She never really stopped to talk about exactly what it was.
I think he interviewed Billy Ray Warren, and that's how Lee found out from Billy Ray what the
Okay.
research was.
Everybody's got the stats. Any highlights or questions about the stats?
The circulation numbers were down a little bit, but a lot of the other numbers were up, I noticed. Computer numbers were way up, so that was good. Programming and attendance was up as well. And keep in mind, March included spring breaks for people, so that could have impacted circ numbers a little bit. As far as the electronics, the catalog numbers were up. And so it was kind of like the digital and computer services went up, even though books were slightly down.
Anybody questions about the stats?
Good.
New business, we got an action item for approval of website redesign.
Okay, so BJ Keaton, of course, did our redesign for the outdoors website. I think everybody was pleased with that. So we met with him and he did some training with our staff on how to log in and make changes to that website. So he gave a proposal for designing the full website. And it's been over 10 years. I think it was 2013 when we did that website redesign. And in speaking with Nancy, she thought it was about 10 at that time. So she was of the opinion it was a good price for what it was this many years later. So anyway.
Anybody got a motion?
Anybody have any questions about?
Since we've been working with ICS, we've kind of been saving in terms of that position, so I kind of thought of it that way as
Yeah.
being able to do
You got
this
the money and some of
redesign.
that?
Yes,
As far as the budget?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
as far as technology.
Yeah, in the technology line.
I hear a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yep.
Huh? No, that is a really good deal, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, visually ours just looks outdated at this point, so he can, like we looked at the UNA one and the city has a new one and kind of compared what we're seeing with other libraries too,
Yeah,
and BJ understands all of that.
good. Yeah.
Okay, all right, we have the janitorial bid.
Okay, so I put into the folder, we received 4 bids, and so of course they were all opened last week. We had 2 who attended the bid opening. Diamond Shine and England Services were both here. I also brought, ACS had this notebook, so rather than scanning the whole thing, I just brought it if y'all need to look at it. So ACS is our current company that we've used for the past 3 years. And then the others all came to our site visit, and like I said, those 2 came to the opening.
Any recommendation?
We were impressed with England and Diamond Shine. Those are the 2 that we prefer.
Yeah. One of those would work. I kind of lean a little bit more towards England.
I probably do too.
Because he said he could, if something broke, he wouldn't mind fixing it for us, no additional.
That would be
Extra.
helpful.
That would be great.
Looks like it's a little bit less.
So is there a recommendation somewhere in those comments?
Oh, I can't make a motion.
Yeah, we're gonna take every recommendation.
Y'all got to meet them.
Yeah.
We met with all of them,
Yeah.
but then those 2 came back both times.
Mhm.
And that means a lot, because that means they're concerned and they care.
We met for
So,
them.
Where else do they have any references from?
yeah, the references
Yeah.
are in there kind of good.
Okay.
this a one-year
Okay, I'm
contract?
seeing them.
It's 3.
3 years?
On the other side with Diamond Shine, each month, I mean, each year it's increasing. Whereas,
I think that.
Stay the same. They both had good references and bigger businesses they had worked for.
those are the last.
Okay.
Diamond Shine's done a lot of hospitals, cleaning, nothing hurts still.
He also mentioned to me that he had done the Madison Library, the newer branch at one point.
Diamond Shine.
Um,
References on there.
I've got it right here.
Oh, okay. Did you see the references? I didn't get there. Yeah.
It's the last page, is the references.
I see there.
My computer was not happy. I know I'm helping my neighbors, so I just need your name. If you could pass it around to all the other guests.
You said you had a slight preference for England?
England. A good
Yeah.
fit.
Probably.
Just because they said that they could, you know, if something was.
They have some really nearby
Mhm.
businesses as
Properties
well.
that they're planning.
Everything else being equal and comparable, I would prefer to go with a local company
Right.
too
That was
versus
kind of
somebody out of
my leaning.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the deficit that we thought about,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, they have several downtown and other doctor's offices.
His wife, Diamond Shine's wife, is opening a restaurant in the Cloverdale area, so they'll be here, but, yeah, that
Okay.
was our concern too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Solved the references included. The Wilson Park.
That's the one just right
Yeah,
there.
right next to us, so it's in
Convenient.
the main room. It's down the road, so they're doing a lot.
Right here.
Area.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Which would probably have with responsiveness if
Yeah.
Right.
it were
Yeah.
something unforeseeable.
So Mark, is that a motion?
So, you wanna make the motion, or I'm happy to make the motion for England Services. I think they're
Get
better.
a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Okay.
And when do we put for that place? May?
May 1st.
May 1st, yeah.
I think that comes to, next board meeting is May 13th. Is everybody good, May 13th, 12:30?
Do we need 12:30?
Yeah, I wondered
Or
that too.
can we go to 1?
Oh, yes, we can, I'm done.
Okay.
One class is
You graduated.
done. Yeah. So if y'all rather change it,
Is that good for you?
is one better?
Yeah, that's fine.
1 o'clock's much better for me.
Okay.
Just to get back, if that works for everybody.
And Abby will send out an invite,
Yes.
correct?
Mhm.
All right, then I will, is there, entertain a motion to adjourn? Yeah, all in
Second.
favor? Thank y'all, thank you
Thank you
everybody.
very
Thank you,
much.
Benita.